if you've watched more than one beekeeping video, expressions of YouTube, whatever the hell this blooming new modern technology is called, I don't know. But anyway, if you've watched more than one thing about beekeeping, you will know that if you're going to move a beehive, you got to move the bloody thing a long way away, because otherwise the girls will fly back to where they used to live. But I'm going to tell you, if you happen to have a bee box in your backyard, you don't actually want it where it is, you can just simply move it a little bit at a time. I had a friend of mine that had some bees in his Weber barbecue, and he thought that was a bit awkward by his back door, so he just wheeled the Weber across the backyard until it got to the spot that he wanted. We haven't got bees in a Weber because we're not making any honey chicken tonight, but let's go and check this out. Not this way. We just dodged the lovely wife sprinklers. I can't talk her into growing bloomin' a bee-friendly lawn, which I think's a bit rude. So she's still growing grass. So, you know, she could plant a nice bit of strawberry clover out here and let it grow and get all festy, and the girls would have a little bit more to eat. But that's fallen on deaf ears. But she has planted some beautiful flowers around the edge for the ladies to nibble on. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers, is that the old saying? Something like that. Anyway, we've got a bee box that actually landed in the garden. So in the spring, when the bees were swarming and carrying on, we had a swarm land in the blooming old walnut tree here, and I shook them into the box. It's actually over there now, but anyway, I shook them into that box, and they settled in and thought it was wonderful. And then we had another swarm turn up, and the poor old queen, she landed the other side of the box that I'd already set there with the other bees in it, and so all of her friends come flying along and landed in the original box. So this little swarm box here had about 2 frames of bees instead of fucking 4. So the other extra ones are in my box over there. The reason I bring that up is because I'm going to move the box that's over there, that was over here, and this box was over there where they were. It's getting very confusing, but my plan is that I want the ladies that reorientate back to where that box is to go into this box, and maybe I'll even them up again. Maybe we'll just move the box because the lads got lost with all that. It's a bit like a riddle, but you know, you don't know. Just replay that bit and you might work out what I meant. So we're going from over there to over here to over there to over where we really want them. We should call this Swarmo project. Someone just got a wet boot. Looked like he peed himself. So I'm planning that these little ladies are going to go into the garden where they're going to live, because they can't live here because they keep getting sprayed with mother's sprinklers. And being that she's not growing me any strawberry clover, I think it's very negative. But anyway, we're just going to shut the door and we're going to pop them over there where they should be. So you can move them a little bit at a time, because like I said, we started at the walnut tree, we standed on the edge of the garden, now we're going to go into this garden. So I could have driven 5 miles away and just put them somewhere else for a week and then come back and just did one move, but yeah, where would be the fun in that? Being that these ladies are going to get shifted, we're just going to shut their little door, just to slow them down a little bit. Oh, that one's going to make it in. Yay, look at that. Just made it. Now, it doesn't look very busy here, but it's surprising how many girls turn up in the afternoon. We'll see if it falls apart when we pick it up. Oh, you ready? Oh, he's got the camera, so he can't offer to help. Now, apparently, another option would be, you happen to have a ventilated box, which has got a vent on the bottom here and a vent on the top so the ladies don't actually get themselves too freaked out. You can take that, put it in a dark room somewhere for a week-ish. I think it was a week, or maybe 3 days. Hell, I better reverse that. Anyway, you put them in a dark room for about 4 days, and then you can move them around your yard wherever you like. So there's another option, but I'm not sure how your wife would feel if she woke up in the morning with a box of bees under her bed. Because that's kind of... So perhaps this is a better option. We'll just move them just increments across your yard until you get them to where you want. Or drive them to your blooming mother-in-law's house and leave them in her yard for a bit if she's more than 5 k's away. We'll just open their door and let them out, and then we'll move the other box to where that was, and then we'll let them amalgamate so then they can steal some extra workers. That's my plan. Now, we don't want to lose everybody, otherwise the workforce gets a bit toey. If you didn't work out what I was trying to talk about at the start of the video, the original hive over here is a little bit lacking on workers, so I figure I'm just going to put that where this hive was, and it can steal some of their workers. You don't happen to have a spare hive laying around your yard. That's not imperative. It's just part of what I'm doing. So you could put an empty hive there and let them reorientate that and shake them in here afterwards, but that won't achieve anything anyway, because I'll go back there Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can do this without this step that I'm about to do now, okay? So, I think I'm confusing the cameraman, including myself. We're going to put these ladies where those ladies were, and the ladies that come here will go over there, and some of the extras will come in here. So I want to boost this hive, and I also want to move the box. You could just put some frames of nurse bees in there if you really wanted to, but where would be the fun in that? Now you can see the little pile of bees that have got orientated where they used to be. Look at that. Look how much traffic. It didn't look very busy, did it? Look at all that traffic. Looks a bit like Sydney Airport before coronavirus hit, doesn't it? Tell you what, it's not that busy now. Anyway, I like to put the box, not quite, so I don't like to put the box facing exactly where the opening used to be, because this lot will come in here, wham inside the box, and the guard bees goes, hey, you don't smell like us, bugger off. And then they have a big bloody fight, and you end up having dead ones out the front. But if you do this, then they'll congregate on the box and they'll walk around the side a little bit at a time. So you'll get a little bit less death and destruction, because I don't think they have little swords, but they do have sharp little things in their butts. So if you're wondering why the great excitement is, besides the sprinklers, as to why I have to get the hive over here, it's because the lovely wife's got herself a flow hive and she wants them in this corner so she can actually bloomin' use the jolly thing. Been in the shed since winter, so she's getting a bit toey. So here we are, implementing what needs to happen next. So in the morning we're going to come back and install the wife's flow hive and then give her a big surprise and say, hey, look at that, I finally got it done. Finally did something useful.